Serena, still weak, was barely able to make out words. "That was a good shot," she said jokingly to Gloede. "I put my all in that damn werewolf. Gotta be out of commission for a while." The two began to laugh, but suddenly they heard movement in the forest. They both fell silent and listened to what was going on. A blood-curdling howl was heard from deep in the forest, and they could hear the quick steps of the werewolf getting closer to them. The two were too weak to move no matter how much they struggled. The werewolf appeared again and kicked Serena into a tree behind Gloede. Gloede screamed out her name. When she looked back, the werewolf was in front of her. He kicked her in the stomach, then grabbed her head, dragging her up to eye level. "That arrow fucking hurt? You made me drink the potion that bastard gave me. Now I won't be able to hear the end of his gloating. I don't want to hurt the merchandise, but you're making it fucking tough. Forget it. I'm not selling you to some rich guy. I'll hold you up in a hole and let the most disgusting people in the slums have their way with you. Sure, it might take a little longer to make as much as a noble was gonna pay for you, but it'll be worth it to see you suffer. You fucking bitch!" As he slammed Gloede back to the ground multiple times until she coughed blood. Serena screamed for him to stop, which the werewolf just ignored. Once he seemed satisfied, he threw Gloede on his shoulder and began to walk away. Serena screamed for him to stop, and she began to crawl her way towards him. The werewolf stopped for a moment and looked back at Serena. He figured she is too much trouble and won't be worth the payout. He simply turned up his face at her and walked away. Serena dragged herself to her feet and dragged herself across the forest. Continuing to scream at the werewolf, Gloede could barely talk. She tried telling Serena to stop, but she couldn't be heard. She was too weak for her voice to carry. The werewolf, still upset with what happened, stopped and looked back at Serena. She was annoying him, so he dropped Gloede and turned to face Serena. He walked towards her, but she didn't react. Serena only was paying attention to Gloede. Seeing him drop her, Serena smiled. Then the werewolf stabbed Serena in the abdomen. Serena's eyes widened as she felt her wound and saw the blood cover her hand. She fell back to the ground, reaching out to Gloede, and Gloede reaching out to her, as the werewolf went back to grab Gloede and throw her on his shoulder. Serena began to pass out when she had a vision. A woman on a chariot pulled by horses stopped in front of her. "My child, child of the moon, what do you want?" Serena couldn't look up at her. She simply spoke, "I want to save my friend." "Shouldn't you save yourself?" "She's my only friend, the only person who tried to understand me. If I can't save her, what's the point in me surviving?" "You must be alive to save any one child. Perhaps you're too weak at the moment to accept my blessings, but if you survive tonight, the moon shall bless you for the rest of your days." The woman forced Serena's head up and stared into her eyes, whose pupils turned the shape of a crescent moon. As she stared into Serena's eyes, hers turned the same. "Now stand, my child. The night is young and your enemy still breathes." The werewolf continued to walk the forest, complaining about what happened. "These women are nothing but trouble, goddammit. Should I just kill you and say fuck it? But then I get nothing for my troubles. You're lucky you're so valuable, otherwise I would treat you the same as your friend. She should be done bleeding out by now." The werewolf laughed as tears came to Gloede's eyes. As he continued walking, he saw something in the distance. It looked like Serena's figure ahead of him. The werewolf rubbed his eyes and squinted, but she was gone. "This fucking forest is making me go crazy! I'm gonna take a good vacation after this." An arrow whistled through the air. The werewolf ears perked up, and he put up his arm to block it. Another arrow whispered through the air, this one right in front of him, and he struck it down with his paws. Then Serena stood in front of him. "You're still alive. Tenacious. I'll give you guys that, but I'm done playing around. Value your life and just walk away. You can't save everyone." Serena ignored his provocations. "Put her down and leave this forest, and you leave with your life," she said as her eyes looked at him so fierce as if they can pierce him without her firing an arrow. But there was something different about Serena. Her usually white eyes, the pupils now show a black crescent moon. "I refuse. What can some half-dead bitch do to me?" Serena smiled. "I was hoping you would make it tough. Goddess Selene would be disappointed if there wasn't a fight." Serena released an arrow from in front of the werewolf, but arrows came from every side of the forest. The werewolf, shocked, dropped Gloede, put his arms up, tensed his body up to survive the barrage of arrows. He stood for a moment, but nothing happened. When he opened his eyes and looked around, Gloede was gently being sat down about 20 feet away from him, and there were no arrows. "What the fuck did you do? What the hell was that?" "I'm surprised how scared you were. Perhaps you're not as tough as you seem," Serena said, mocking him. "You fucking bitches. You will regret fucking with Jager of the Wolf Clan. Forget the money I'm painting the forest red with your blood." "Jager, was it? How are you going to kill me when you can't even stop one arrow?" Jager looked down and saw an arrow was pierced through his foot. He didn't even feel it. Then he pulled the arrow out of his foot. It definitely had his blood on it. "I don't know what's going on, but one thing's for sure, you can't leave alive anymore." "Neither can you. What you did to Gloede, I will return to you tenfold."